Welcome to Freedom Cast, where your hosts, Jordan and Miranda, show you how to get just a little bit more out of life. Are you ready to leave normal behind?
Welcome to Freedom Cast, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about winter and how it's hard to stay positive and happy in the winter and what you can do to stay just peppy and happy even when the days are short and it's freezing cold and life just seems harder.
Yeah, it's been cold lately. Even in North Carolina, it's been cold. But I would not want to be in Pennsylvania or Maine, where it's been like single digits. Yikes.
Very cold.
How do they even do that? It just hurts me to think about it.
I always keep, in the winter, the weather from where we used to live in Pennsylvania and then where Jordan's parents live in Maine. And then when I am complaining because I feel like it's really cold in North Carolina, the high was in we got up to like 31 today, I think. But
I think it hit, 31, 32.
I'm complaining, but then I look at the weather and I see that in Pennsylvania, it didn't make it to 20. And then in Maine, it was in the single digits all day. So that always makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, we got nothing to complain about here, babe.
Yeah. So that's something I like to do just to make me feel better about the cold. But it is hard to stay positive when you feel like the sun sets before it should, and we were talking today how we're past the winter solstice now, so the days are getting longer again, but it takes a long time for it to get back to a length I prefer.
Yeah, there's just something about the winter that's like, it's not necessarily like depressing, and I know there is something called seasonal depressive disorder or something. I'm butchering that, but it is very interesting how much the weather and the seasons can have an effect on your mood. But it is a true thing when the sun, doesn't rise until later and then sets even earlier. There's just something to be said about being outside in that sun. That's just awesome. You know?
Because in the springtime, you feel like everything's new. You feel refreshed and life is exciting. In the summer, I love the summer. The fall is great too. You feel like it's a season of change, and then winter just seems like everyone goes into hibernation for a little while, and it is hard to not get at least a little depressed. I know we always walk around saying how much we hate the cold and winter. I think we have a harder time with the coldness than we do with the sun going down earlier.
Yes, not a fan of the cold.
Yeah. So
if only we could hibernate like bears.
That would be...
We'd go grrr and then not eat for 6 months. But then not be cold for 6 months. How about that?
Yeah, that would be kind of
crazy. We'd pop out of our little dens when the sun was out till 9 o'clock, hang out for the summer, and then just go back. There would be no student loans. None of that stuff. I bet bears are so happy.
Wait, no student loans because we're bears, or no student loans because we slept through the whole school year? I'm not sure I'm following that.
Probably no student loans because we went to the woods and no one could find us.
Okay, so we're not hibernating in our homes, we're hibernating in caves.
No, but we're bears.
In this hypothetical situation.
In this hypothetical situation, we're bears with no student loans.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
I think there's some pros and cons to that, but we'll work with it. So today, we actually went and did our Camp Gladiator workout. And like I said, by the time we went and did it, it was in the 20s. So it was freezing cold. But when you work out, like we said before, all these workouts are outdoor, no matter what. If it's raining, they have a cover or something you can work out under. But you're basically exposed to all the elements. So those elements will get you. Yeah, we had to really consider if we really wanted to go or not today. Jordan tried to convince me otherwise, and
I did. I said, "Do we really want to go and subject ourselves to this freezing cold weather?" And we did. We did.
But it's definitely something you should do. Continue to work out, even when it's freezing cold. obviously have to be crazy and stupid like us and work out outside, but you can go to a gym still, or you can do, a video in your home in the comfort of the warmth. But with what we're doing, it's always outside. So we're just trying to continue with that. But there is just something to be said about working out and getting those endorphins. And just that motivation is a lot harder to get when it's cold. But I think you feel even more accomplished. I mean, I feel great now that we went out and we worked out. It was 20 degrees, but we did it. And, now I got the endorphins flowing. I'm feeling great. Yeah,
so just feel encouraged that, especially in this new year, I know lots of times it can be kind of a fad to jump into going to a gym and stuff, but just do it. Just try it and, see if it's something that you can stick with. Me and Miranda find that doing these Camp Gladiator workouts is a lot better than going to the gym, but really it's just ultimately finding what works best for you. But unfortunately, in the winter, there are less options. So, you could join a gym if you enjoy being outside in the cold. You could join something like Camp Gladiator. Just talk to us. We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, and we also, last week, we played flag football at the Y, which was outside. It was in the 50s that day, so it was not nearly as cold, but it was a lot of fun, and it's definitely, we always kick ourselves because we love playing organized sports, but then we go a year without playing anything, and then we're like, why aren't we, actively searching out these opportunities? And then we do it, and we're like, this is great, so...
Yeah, there's something about playing sports that is just so much fun and just so, it just, frees your mind. You're so in the moment. Yeah, I'm going to run as fast as I can. I'm going to catch that pass. It's cool because all that stress of life kind of just disappears in that moment, and you can kind of focus on that. But let's talk about football for a second because Miranda is awesome. She was the only girl there out of 17.
Represent.
Yeah, out of 17 guys. 17 guys that know how to play football and are very good. I'm not including myself in that because I'm not that great at football. I don't think. I never have been. I'm much better at Frisbee. But I play.
You're good.
I'm okay. I can catch every once in a while. I miss more than I catch. But whatever. Miranda is amazing at football. Flag football is her thing. And I've always told her that. But I just had to jump on and talk about that a little bit because I want to talk you up because you're awesome.
No, I appreciate it.
It's not just that you played football. Is that you went in against all these other guys and played. And I think that's awesome. So any women listening, don't ever think that you can't do something just because, you're intimidated in that moment. If you want to do it, just prove to yourself that you can do it. And Miranda went in. Of course, she told me afterwards she was pretty nervous.
It was
starting out.
It was very intimidating.
I was intimidated.
These were kids that were really, really good. You could tell they were probably 19, 20 years old, and they were just hurling perfect spirals 100 yards, warming up.
That's an exaggeration.
We didn't even bring a football to warm up, so we were coming in just completely cold when we started, and I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't played flag football in a long time, so it was definitely nerve-wracking at first, but it's worth it. Even if you're nervous, even if it's scary at first, to go ahead and do those things, because I felt, I got a little pride boost at the end, because I felt
you got that respect. Toward the end, our quarterback was whipping passes at you high speed. They had no fear because they knew you were going to catch it, and you did every time. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I was so impressed, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm glad I can just sit here and talk about you for a minute because you were awesome, and I'm still wowed to this moment thinking about it. You just crushed.
Yeah, well, that's thanks.
You were I don't care.
That's thanks to my dad. He had to wait a long time to get his son, so Justine and I were we were the pretend sons until Wesley came along. So he taught us all of his woodworking, football, Frisbee, all that stuff.
Yeah, Justine, Cam, if you're listening to this, just move down south so you can play football with us, because Justine, you would have been awesome as well. So come on down. We're calling you out right on this podcast.
Yeah, we really are.
Yep.
We know you're cold up there right now in Baltimore.
We know up in Baltimore you're freezing. So
yeah, so just like I said, even though it's freezing cold, it is still worth it to go and work out, even though all you want to do is just lay in bed or stay wrapped up in a blanket. I totally know that feeling. If I had my way, I would take multiple naps every day.
Nap queen!
So, yes, I am the nap queen.
You are the nap queen.
Well, I like to say I'm all or nothing. I'm either like working out and like pushing it really hard, or I'm just completely lazy and not doing anything.
You're either like, Jordan, we're doing this and this and this today, or I have no idea what to do today.
Jordan has to drag me out of that apartment just to go on like a walk to the mailbox.
Which you love. You love going on walks.
Yeah.
You always have a different, this is the thing I've been realizing more and more. It's always a different excuse. Lately, it's just been it's cold. And I called you out. I said, you didn't go on walks with me in the summer sometimes.
And then it was too hot. So
yeah, it's too hot. I'm too tired.
Reason. Yeah. And that's another
I just ate. I'm hungry.
I'm thirsty. I'm overhydrated. And that's another point, too. Even though it is freezing outside, it is better to get outside and get some sun, even though the sun isn't up nearly as long and you don't feel it as much on your face when there's, a wind chill and everything. It definitely helps your mood to go outside and get fresh air, even when it's freezing cold. And it's a lot harder to get out there, but you will still get the same benefits as going on a walk on a nice fall day or nice summer day.
Yep, so go ahead and boondle on up, get outside and just, stare at the sun for a little bit with your eyes shut or with really good glasses on. But because don't hurt your eyes.
Yeah, we don't want you to go blind.
Yep.
But
hey, we have some eclipse glasses, so if you really want to go out and stare at the sun,
you can borrow them.
You can borrow them.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it, even though, we are totally, on board with the cold is awful. So we just have to force ourselves to go out there and do it, and, you'll always feel better. We always have our best ideas when we're going for a walk, and we always, if we watch too much television or get in kind of a funk, we're like, we need to go on a walk. And we're like, do we really want to? And then we do it, and then we're like, that was great.
Yeah, I think, we can beat a dead horse with talking about working out, but, it's not, working out is something that is so good for you. No matter what you're doing, try to find something that you enjoy that you can do consistently and get out there and do it, especially if you have a desk job or are kind of spending most of your day not moving around. It's something that you should add to your lifestyle. You should. There really is no way around it. It's going to give you benefits all over the place if you decide to start doing something.
Yeah, and I know I feel very lucky now that I have a job where I am moving around all day, and I am in a greenhouse, so we have glass ceilings that open and close, so I get to see the sun, and I get to feel the sun's rays throughout the day. But I know for people who have office jobs, who have a 9 to 5, they drive to work, they see the sun on their commute over, and then by the time they come home, the sun is setting, and I know that's really hard.
That's really tough.
If you can, on your lunch break, go for a walk, or if you have a cool boss that will let you go outside for a quick walk for a meeting or something, just, try to find ways. I know in certain circumstances, there's nothing you can really do because some companies are really intense. So,
but just set your priorities and be intentional, and then, try to find something that works for you.
Yeah. So another important thing, I think, for the winter is, like I said before, it's really easy to want to just stay inside and just, scan Facebook for hours or just stay bundled up and watch TV and, Netflix and chill for, 2 months. But
Netflix and chill. I love how you threw that in there.
Yeah. I'm very hip.
You are hip.
I'm low-key hip.
You're low-key hip.
Yeah. I was trying to think of some of the other ones. Our cousin was telling us all the new terms.
I can't think of any of the other ones right now.
Scoop me. They said, you want someone to pick you up, say scoop me. Not physically pick you up, but if they need to pick you up for a party or something.
Yeah.
Scoop me.
I love that one.
That was my favorite.
You got to use that in context.
Yeah, I'll try to work that in.
Scoop me, bro.
So, I think it's really important to make sure you're spending quality time with people during the winter because people tend to do less social things after the holidays are over and it's January and February and people kind of they're sad because there's no more holidays for a while and it's cold and, people are already looking forward to the spring. So I would just say make sure you are being intentional about...
Intentionable, fellas.
Be intentional.
Sorry, I had to do it.
I know. It was a good one to make fun of. So make sure you're finding people to go to coffee with or just having a game night. Whatever you can do with people when you're actually physically in the same space instead of just texting them or, whatever else you can do.
Yeah, and we say that as introverts too, but it definitely is valuable to be spending time with people, not like Miranda said, not just over text or, not just over phone calls, but in person when you can. It can really make a big difference as far as just your overall mood and, your happiness level, especially in the cold winter months when, like Miranda said, all you want to really do is just sit there all boondled up.
Yeah, and it's definitely the easiest thing to do is to just come home, take a shower, get bundled in like 5 layers, and just lay on the couch the rest of the day. That's definitely the easiest thing to do. But obviously not the best thing for you to do. So, other than that, I would say another good tip would be make sure you're opening the blinds if you are home during the day, like Jordan works from home.
I do. I open the blinds, especially in my office.
Yeah, I'm kind of OCD about blinds. I hate when it's sunny outside and the blinds are closed, or if it's dark outside and the blinds are open. There's just something about that bothers me.
You are pretty. You're the blind police.
The blind police, yeah. Because the second the sun comes up, like I want to see the sun. I want the natural sunlight in the house. And I think that is something with men that is different. I think men are more okay with like a cave.
Yeah. I am, and I have been most of my life, but you've definitely rubbed off on me. Like, I do have to have my office window open, but I feel like that may not be for the same reasons. I do it because I can't really see if I don't have them open.
No, you need the light to be able to.
I mean, even with our one lamp that we have, that Miranda and I share one lamp for our apartment, even with that one lamp, it does get it can feel kind of dark in here, and I can kind of not really sure.
Yeah,
I can still see, but I like the brightness. My computer is right in front of the window, so it's in a really cool spot.
Yeah, so definitely when you have that natural sunlight, use it. Use it and abuse it, Make sure you're enjoying it while it is out.
Use it or lose it, sister.
And I actually found online that they have special lamps now. They're called like seasonal depression lamps that you can buy.
I think you said they were sad lamps, but we don't know why.
No, the official term for seasonal depression is seasonal something depression with an A, but I can't remember what the A is.
Oh, okay, but it's sad.
The acronym is SAD, which is ironic. It works really well.
My sister Denise, if you're listening to this, just let us know what that is, and we'll add it in for the next time. Yeah,
but these lamps apparently help you.
I'm not saying that because Denise has that. For the record, there she's psychiatrist, psychologist. She works in that realm. That's why I'm asking. Did want to just add that in there, Denise. So you're good.
I bet my sister has that. She'd know what that's
not
for.
What I meant.
So yeah, if you want to try something like that, definitely give it a shot. I looked on Amazon. There was one that was about $30. Some were
30 bones.
Some were up to
for a lamp.
Up to like 100. It's like a normal price for a lamp.
Yeah, we just don't buy
We're
lamps.
such cheapos. We'd be horrible on the price.
That Target lamp is awesome. It was like $15.
Yeah, I think so.
The bulbs are more expensive than the lamp. All right, go ahead, Miranda. I'm being ridiculous.
Yeah, back on track here, sir. So if you want to try something like that, I have never personally used one of those lamps, but I think it's definitely a good idea and something worth trying if you do find you suffer from the winter blues. I think that's a good thing to try to do. Another idea for making sure you stay peppy in the winter is to plan ahead and plan for your summer vacation. So if you are feeling really down and you just are one of those people, I know some people love the winter and won't relate to any of this, but if you are...
I don't understand those people.
Yeah, if you are one of those people...
You crazy.
Let us know how you do it,
I thought you said let it snow.
Let it snow.
Let it snow how you're doing.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So go ahead and look ahead and make plans for the summer. Think about that beach house where you have the ocean view and you're going to be laying out there on the beach, sunbathing, throwing the frisbee, make a plan and have something that you're looking forward to, because I find that always helps me. If you kind of have a reward, like, hey, if I survive through the summer, in the spring we'll go take a trip to Florida.
Through the winter.
What'd I say?
You said summer. You meant survive through the winter. We can take a trip in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could just go on a vacation in the winter.
To Cancun.
To Cancun. That's what we did last year, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the way to do it.
Yeah. You can also
just go.
Be a snowbird and just leave, which is also an option if you're able to do that and are financially stable and can just up and leave for a while. Hey, more power to you. That's something we'd probably do if we could, but who knows? Probably. Yeah.
Because even this is too cold for me. I don't like the cold. It must be because we hung out with old people for 2 years, and we were in that really, really crazy cold apartment in Mechanicsburg. I think it was a combination of
it traumatized us.
Combination of that traumatization that I don't think that's a word, but anyway, the combination just was like, no, we're tired of the cold.
Yeah. So Jordan and I, for this year, we made a resolution to read 50 books each. And this is something that I think is great for the winter because if you are, introverted like us and you love your alone time, just cuddle up and read a book. Like I said, I think sometimes in the winter we get way too much screen time. So I think reading is something that's, it just engages your brain so much more. It's just so much better for you than just sitting and, watching a television show for hours on end.
Yep.
I thought you were going to have more to say to that.
Oh, no, I love reading, and I'm excited for this, the year of reading. I don't know if Miranda and I have dubbed it that or not, but that's what I'm going to call it. It's the year of reading. We're going to try to each read 50 books. We're actually tracking them so we can figure out which, we're reading more fiction or nonfiction, but just something we wanted to challenge each other with. And, we've talked about before that reducing screen time is super important. Especially in the winter, because obviously we're inside more. We're just going to be like, it's going to be easier to just sit on the couch and turn the TV on. But just think about that. Maybe try to even just read more than you watch TV. Just set some goals for yourself. Just be intentional. Maybe just get some brand new books that you might want to read. Go to the bookstore and pick out some new ones. Miranda and I have done that the other day, or did that the other day. Join a library. We actually are thinking about doing that. I looked one up in Huntersville. I didn't actually look up how to get there, so I have no idea where it is. But it was a pretty big building, so we're going to be thinking about doing that, joining a librray, unless there's a fee, because obviously, why would we pay for that? But
you normally don't have to pay for library cards.
Yeah, I don't think so, but maybe here.
If you get a book out and then you never return it, that's when you get your late fees, and then you're in trouble.
But I feel like people don't really pay their late fees, right?
I don't know.
I'm all about, paying your bills and, being good about that, but there's some things, even I am do you really have to pay library, late fees?
I doubt they'd chase you down, but if you ever went back to check out another book, you wouldn't be able to.
Or you could just go to another library.
Yeah, but
Is that bad? Am I being, immoral by saying that? I feel like I'm pretty, generally think about that stuff.
Yeah.
But something about that, I'm like, eh.
What if you checked out, the new Harry Potter book and then never brought it back? And there was a whole waiting, list of people who wanted to read it.
That would be questionable, I agree.
It would be questionable. But, yeah,
Anyway.
I haven't been a part of a library in forever, but it's definitely nice. There's something nice about owning a book, though.
Oh, I agree.
I feel like it's different.
But yeah, but at the same time, you are trying to tend us more toward a minimalist lifestyle. So the more books we get, the more we have clutter. And I know from a personal experience that if I have too many books, my wife will try to give them away.
It is. I know. It's
Truth bomb.
There's something about buying a book that puts more value on it. I think we've talked about that before, and it's it feels more, this is my book. I'm excited to read it. But when you check one out of the library, I feel like I'm never as excited to read it.
That's a good point. I'm glad you said that, because that's a big thing that I have to think about in launching books is actually, if you launch a book for free, even if it's a Kindle edition, you are taking some of the value away from that. And it's not just value that you're getting, but it's the perceived value of the consumer. Because, there's a lot of people out there that just download a lot of free books and they just keep it on their Kindle and may never read it. And if they do read it, there's also less value perceived on what was taught. So it's interesting. Good thoughts.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think libraries are really good, but I've never been great about being a library patron.
I just think we should consider it.
Definitely. No, I'm on board. But it was very nice the other day. We went to Barnes & Noble, and they have a Starbucks in there. A really nice Starbucks that has so many tasty treats in it. More than I've ever seen in a Starbucks.
Oh, it's perfect.
And then we went and we walked around and looked at different books. Because we're cheapos, we actually just wrote down like the name of the books and put it on our Amazon wish list because we can get them cheaper on Amazon.
And that's the thing. We love Barnes and Noble, but I mean, if you're gonna be cheap about it, you can't buy a book there. Look in the back of the book; it says
$20, $30,
$27.99.
Yeah.
And I think if you had a card, it's like 20% off. But
yeah, and if we're reading 50 books at $30, how much money is that?
More money than we have.
Come on, Rain Man, give me the number.
$1,500. 50 times 30? Is that 1,500? Or am I being stupid? 5 times 3, 15, 2 zeros, 1,500.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We don't have that for books.
That's a lot of money for
they
1
ain't
year
no
for
book
books.
budget.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. I'd rather get it on Kindle or maybe check out the library.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people, I like to read real books too. I lose value on books when they're in Kindle version too. I'm very, very picky about how I read my books.
I understand that.
But going back to what we were saying originally.
That was a long tangent.
Yes.
But yeah, join a library or buy a book, whatever you want to do. Just buy books, read books.
Yeah,
books are awesome.
Join us on our Year of Books 2018. We're reading a mix of fiction and nonfiction. I'm gonna try to pick a bunch of like random books too that I probably wouldn't have normally picked and just try something different out.
Yeah, I haven't read Aragon in a couple of years, so I'm gonna read through that. That's part of my...
That's a good idea.
That's my plan.
Those books are awesome.
If you haven't read Aragon, definitely read it. Amazing cycle. Amazing series. It's 4 books.
It's the only set of books that I've like read multiple times over and over again.
Besides Harry Potter?
I never reread Harry Potter.
What?
I read them all like
disowned
right away, immediately.
I didn't know that you never read them again.
But I've never reread them.
I've reread them like 5 or 6 times probably.
That many, really?
Quite a bit.
Wow.
Especially like I would say
that's why you don't like the movies.
The first 5 I probably read 5 or 6 times. I think the rereads have gone down, since that, but wow. And it's been a while.
Fun fact, I didn't know that about you.
Oh, we read those a lot.
Yeah.
My teacher in, I think, 5th grade said, you should read those books. And then I read the first 3. I think that was it. That was out. And I'm like, these are great. And then, bam, it took off. It was like a worldwide phenomenon. But I was in on it before it was absolutely insane.
Are you saying you started like the Harry Potter trend?
No, I didn't start it.
You were ahead of the bandwagon.
I was ahead of the bandwagon. I was with Aragon, too. No one else had ever heard of that. And I picked it up out of the out of the bookstore. I was going to say book theater, but that didn't make sense.
The book theater.
I'm just saying, I got lucky with those 2.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Any other series you think we should read, send our way?
Definitely. I'm open to like whatever. I'm excited to read a bunch of different things, and I think it's going to help broaden my mind this year. When we're a little more tighter financially, so we might not be able to travel as much, but maybe we can just read about travels.
We can read about travels this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year's going to be just a little bit more of a low-key year. And I meant that like Loki, as in like Thor and Loki. It's going to be a little bit more of a low-key year. So
obviously, because Infinity Wars is coming out.
Oh,
May 4th.
May the 4th be with you. Freaking Infinity War. Super excited. I'm not even going to talk about it because I could talk for 10 hours on that. I'm not obsessed with like too many things. But I think it's safe to say I'm obsessed with Marvel.
Says
Would you
the
say
boy
that?
Who read Harry Potter 5 times.
Well, that's true. I didn't expect to get called out by my own wife that quickly.
Yeah, well, we're literally just talking about it, but
cool, babe.
Yeah,
cool.
You love watching you watch the first Avengers movie was so worth it. You were like geeking out the entire time.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I was like a Marvel newbie, really, at that point. So that was, yeah. But going back to what we're talking about, just the winter, just some other little things you can do. I've been on a candle kick recently, and I think that's something that everybody should do. Why is that funny?
Something about candle kick. I don't know. That's just funny to me. Go ahead. Carry on.
It's just really nice to have candles lit in the house. And we have a fire too, which we've never had before, and I am absolutely in love with it, and I don't know if I can ever go back to not having a fireplace. And it's a gas fireplace, so it kicks off so much heat. It's amazing. I love it so much.
Oh, that thing is incredible.
I could talk for 50 hours about how much I love the fireplace. I
You're
take
obsessed
naps
with the
in front of
fireplace.
it. I cannot be parted with it when I'm at home. So if you have a fireplace, use it during the winter because it's just amazing. You know, curl up, grab your book, get some hot tea. It's just perfect. If you don't have a fireplace, get some candles. It's, you know, if you light about 50 candles, you'll start heating up your house. So, you know, that's just a brilliant idea from me. Did you have any other ideas, Mr. Ring?
I got nothing. I loved all Miranda's ideas right there. I think it's just important to, again, what we talked about before, just be intentional, be thinking about these things. Don't let it get to the point where you're like, oh, that winter was awful. I hated that winter. You know, you can say that because the cold is terrible, but just be thinking of ways that you can just counteract the the depression that can come in the cold times. And if any of you up in Maine are listening to this, oh man, I feel for you. Definitely put some of these to heart and just stay as warm as you can while you're waiting for June to finally warm up.
There is a certain point where it's not safe to go outside. So if it's -17, which is what it's supposed to be in Maine at the end of the week, you know, it's fine.
At the end of the week that we're recording this, I don't know when
yeah.
Just
whenever we post this, yeah, side note. But yeah, that's if it's unsafe to go outside, don't listen to these ideas because then you should just work out inside, do some sit-ups, and don't leave the house unless you have to.
Yes, agreed.
Because that is just ridiculous. Yeah, that's too cold. So
way too cold.
Way too cold. But yeah, we are just excited for 2018. We just as little housekeeping things, we're having a big meeting with just the two of us, but we're going to be talking about the podcast this year and what we want to do. So like always, if you have any ideas or any comments, just send them our way. We'd love to hear them. We definitely just love this podcast. We want it to keep going. We want it to keep growing, and we want to keep improving. So we are always open to criticism or positive remarks. Just let us know because we're here to try to help. So
yeah, let us know how we're doing. This is something that we're going to be continuing pretty much no matter what. We have a goal to have a podcast episode for every week of 2018, and I think after that it's going to be just kind of seeing where we're going with it, seeing how it's going overall. But we're excited. We love doing this. We love talking. Me and Miranda love talking about these subjects, and love hearing all the positive feedback that we get from it. And we just love talking to people too, as far as guests. So if you want to be on the show, let us know. But another very important announcement is that we have a Patreon page set up. So if you really enjoy this podcast, you can go to that page. I will link to that in the show notes of this episode. But check that out. It's not mandatory. We're not going to ever, in the foreseeable future, make any of these podcast episodes paid or anything like that. Podcast is going to be totally free. But if you enjoy what we're talking about, what we're putting out there, if you're getting something from this podcast, consider going on there and signing up to be a support for the podcast. We would appreciate that more than you know. That will definitely help us just to be able to continue to set aside time for this podcast and to be able to talk to you lovely people.
Yeah, exactly. So we're excited for where this podcast is going. We, like I said, enjoy it a lot, so we're just going to keep going with it. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful 2018 so far, and we will talk to you again soon.
Yeah, can't do our normal sign-off because everyone out there is staying frosty. So we're going to say stay warm, friends. Just stay by that fire and stay as warm as you can.
Yep, stay warm.